And today we are going to cover the basics of the card spring, version 1 and version 2. So don't forget to like and subscribe. So let's get into this. Oh, and by the way, we just came out with new shirts for Evolving Magic, so if you're interested, we got different designs, links in the description. So onto the classic, well, I would just say card spring. That's been around forever, and some would say it's overutilized by the magicians, but it's a classic way to, as Jay Sankey would say in, I believe, one of his DVDs, or he wrote an email, the quickest way to get to an audience, do a card spring. So with that in mind, let's cover the basics of it and get excited for it, because this is a wonderful move. So to begin, we have a deck of cards. Could be new, could be used, just not too used, otherwise it might affect the spring. This is pretty well worn, but it can still be used regardless. For example, the deck is held starting in a dealer's grip, or it doesn't really matter the grip too much, but it's just for the transitioning to where we want to go to start the spring. So I guess dealer's grip would be good. Which is to say, forefinger right here, other fingers right here, thumb on the side. They cover more of this in Card College with Robert Giobbe. So again, Card College, I believe volume 1. They cover all the placements and everything, so if you're interested in doing other card stuff, I recommend that. Not sponsored. So with that in mind, we have it in this grip, and then we use our thumb to lift up the deck a little, so we can just elevate it, or we can just pick it up, whichever. However you choose to do it, so you can use your thumb to elevate it, pick it up the deck into what is known as a biddle grip, a slightly modified biddle grip, for example. So however we do it, let's just say we pick it up, however, okay? The biddle grip, normal biddle grip, is with the forefingers right here and thumb in the back. So we went from here, dealer's grip, to biddle grip, just gripping the cards, and usually it's used for some sleight of hand. Make it seem like there's 3 cards here, for example, and there's only 2. That's the biddle steel that's you normally use for that. So that's the meaning behind the biddle grip. For my version anyways, or how I like to do it, I like to just move normally the fingers are all coalesced on here comfortably. I like to just shift it over a little bit, so my pinkies are on the edge. It's just personal preference. Okay, so from here, we got it right here, thumb in the back, forefingers right here. And so from here, I'll turn to the side so everyone can see it. From here, our other hand, our free hand, will come, and our forefinger is going to push the cards in just slightly to give it that bow. Now you could do it naturally, but it might be a little bit harder. This is just to start it, and it looks like you're getting ready to do it, but you're also preparing for the move. So from here, we lift it up. We can get from here. So you can see some magicians doing it this way, and then changing to this like a fancy one. Not even necessary, because you have to go into it. So, for example, we just go here to here. Okay. Then we bend the cards. However, maybe we can just do this, just using the sides and just using it to curve the deck, or we can just push inside. However, to start what is known as the card spring. Okay. Now the next part should be stated as the most important, aside from the fundamentals of getting to the point. But you should be, I first mentioned before doing it, you should be on a bed doing this, comfortable bed that has lots of space, so wherever the cards fly, you can pick them up easily, so you can continue on practicing with it. So to start, imagine, first I should do an analogy of what it would look like, or an example of what it would look like. First, we start with, now that the cards are bent, however you want to do it, imagine just riffling through a newspaper, just like, so, it would just be like this. This is how it originally started. We just get it, and we start doing this. Because I wasn't looking at my camera before, let me modify it down here so you can actually see a lot better. Okay, let me modify it right here. Okay, so we got it right here. and we're just riffling through a newspaper. So the fingers right here, thumb in the back, and thumb is just the one riffling off the cards. Hopefully you can see that. All the pressure on the back of the thumb is just being used to do it. Now it does take a good amount of pressure, so you have to practice and play with it. Lighter or softer cards can make it a little bit easier. I'm just using a standard bicycle pack. So, again, let me turn over here so you can get a better view of it. And that's all it looks like, just pushing it in, getting it all started, and then just thumb lifting off. So that's what we're aiming for. Okay? Now, like, what does that have to do with the actual card spring? Well, many things. It elevates, it gets us the idea of where we want to be. So when we actually do it, we'll be ready for it. And let me go into that, because there's many little things to help you adapt to the learning curve faster. First, starting out, you can start right here. If you're just walking around doing this, wanting to practice it, you want to keep it close to your body so your body can act as a shield to keep the cards from falling all over the place, so you don't have to pick them up as much. So what I'm doing, I keep them close to my body, and then I'm just using my thumb to release. Okay? Now, the card spring is a balance of the two. So you're not only doing it from the back, but you're also releasing from the front. So, like this. Let me do it from the side. Hopefully. I'm trying to make it so everyone can see it from all angles. Yeah, this looks a lot better. Okay, so we've been originally just practicing from the front. We can practice from the back. Now we can do it from the front. Like that. And I'll bend the cards, and then if you're bending like this, you can just bend it back, like just using, I just use my forefinger. The other third fingers are for middle, and I just bend back. Or you can do a shuffle. So it bends it up, it bends it down, so it doesn't seem like it's all just one way. So now that we got that from the back, then we start practicing with the front, and then we practice releasing at the same time. Now, again, it will never look perfect when you're starting out, and especially in slow motion, we have to go with the flow of releasing it. So let's say I'm going to do it up close, as I demonstrated in my previous example. Okay, and I'm doing like this. I'm trying to practice so I can get that timing and get the smooth motion of it, so I get the flow going. And once you get the flow going, that half of your work is done. So I'm going to practice just getting it, adapting. From here, the next step, and I always try to do this not to show off, but to keep everything in mind. Now, there's again, we're starting off with the normal version, which is normal card spring, instead of from the corners. Though I have friends that have that preference, it's good to at least know both to see which one you like better, and then do which one you prefer. So from here, we have it here, then we start elevating it so we can balance it. We are releasing both the cards from top and bottom at the same time, and it's just about letting the flow go. So I'm starting out. This is how I actually trained. I would originally do it on a bed, and I learned that if I can do a shield, I can start here. Just getting it small, and day by day, or minute by minute, I would slowly expand once I get the concept of how much I can get away with. Because you don't want to go too far and just be chaotic. We want it exactly like that. We want it to be controlled, so it can be a lot easier and looks a lot better. So, from here, we start expanding outwards. The hand here is just receiving it. You can give it like a claw like this, so wherever the cards go, you can easily square it up after. So this hand is just here. Heck, you could even just have it with the forefinger right here. And so you can have the shield here, shield from here, if you want. Or do the claw, whichever you prefer. Just making sure you capture all the cards, so it reduces cleanup time. So from here, we expand, and so we start practicing. So it should take, if you're quick with it, a week to 2 weeks to fully get it down. And it's just a wonderful move you can do to show off to all your friends. right here. So that's how we're expanding. And then eventually we want to move our hands outward. So once we feel comfortable enough with the move, for the normal version, we can move our hands outward, because this only can look so good. Yet when we do it like this, when we're looking for my monitor, that looks a lot better. Okay? And notice how I'm readjusting the pack, because I just don't want the cards to go all one way. So from here, I have my hands outwards, and I could just be casual, and I could use, you know, in the beginning when you're still getting used to it, just find a way where you can collect the cards easily. So if I mess up in any way, let's just say that example, we can easily square everything up. So there. So again, from here, overviewing it, we lift it up. It looks like that. So lifting up, fingers right here. We've practiced going through the phase of gaining balance and then gaining comfortability in the flow to it. Starting from here. And it doesn't even have to be perfect. Again, it's going to start out looking like this. It'll look like that. And eventually you start to build a flow, and it's just adjusting it just right. And then you'll see people on the social media who have taken this so far as to do the rainbow spring, per se. No, I cannot currently do this. I've not adapted myself to doing that. Just more of a casual card spring to say, I am a entertainer. And so that's what essentially the ultimate goal is, to be able to do it casually, like you don't even care. You'll be looking at the audience, just talking to them casually, and just card spring, and not even have to look at the deck to do it. Now that is much later on, mind you, because you need to first adapt balance to it, and you have to have some trust to be able to do that kind of motion. And that's the idea behind it. More cuts to come, and more different things to come. But again, just getting comfortable with it. Some people who really, really utilize this slide, I noticed, are Jay Sankey. I know it's probably talked about heavily in Card College. I didn't check this move. I was checking for others. So it's probably surprising there for that. And feel free, if you really like this move in the way I taught it, feel free to like and subscribe. I also got others, including like, I call it the BA Shuffle. Looks really, really cool. I'll link it up here. I also have other moves, like I also covered ideas on the double lift and different ways to go into it. So for convenience sake, you got that as well. So hope you enjoyed this part 1 idea of the card spring. I hope it was helpful to you, and good luck on your journey to wherever you go, to learning just the card spring to entertain the kids or whoever, or on your journey becoming a professional entertainer. With that, I bid you adieu.